Family feuds are the bread and butter of Soapland, but every now and then, a storyline comes along that transcends the typical squabbles over money or love. It becomes something darker, something that crawls under your skin and leaves you feeling genuinely uneasy. Right now, in the heart of the Yorkshire Dales, that's exactly what's happening with the Sugden brothers. What we're witnessing is not just a rivalry, it's a chilling, slow-burn campaign of psychological warfare, and it has us all holding our breath. For weeks, we've watched Robert Sugden, a man who has fought tooth and nail for his redemption, slowly unravel, and the architect of his destruction, the village's supposed hero, paramedic John. Let's be real for a moment. The most terrifying villains aren't the ones who shout and rave. They're the ones who smile to your face while methodically dismantling your life, piece by painful piece. John is a master of this insidious art. The tension that has been simmering between the half-brothers finally boiled over this week in a way that left us all breathless. It was a masterclass in manipulation. Robert, bless his heart, finally started to see John not as a savior, but as a predator circling his family. He knew something was deeply wrong with John's life-saving heroics and the almost suffocating way he had embedded himself into their lives. But when you're the only one who sees the monster, everyone else just thinks you're crazy. And John, ever the strategist, was one step ahead. Realizing his mask was slipping, he went on the offensive. Planting a listening device in Victoria's house was a chilling move. It wasn't just about gathering information, it was a violation, a calculated invasion of the one place Robert should have felt safe. He twisted their private moments, their fears, and their conversations into ammunition. He learned that Robert had stolen the wheat from Butler's farm, a desperate act to be sure, but one John could spin into something far more sinister. He then took that information and expertly painted Robert as the village pariah, telling Ross Barton that Robert was not only a thief but also the culprit behind a recent break-in. The resulting scene was heartbreakingly effective. Watching the villagers, people Robert has known for years, turn on him with such venom was painful. His pleas, his attempts to expose John's bizarre and controlling behavior fell on deaf ears. They saw a troubled man lashing out, exactly as John intended. You could feel Robert's world shrinking, the walls closing in as his credibility was systematically shattered by a man who wore a halo of public trust. Later, the conflict escalated from psychological to physical, and this is where John's true colors bled through. In a terrifying confrontation, he gaslighted Robert, twisting his words and reality until Robert himself likely questioned his own sanity. Then, he physically restrained him. It was a raw display of power, a man asserting his dominance over a cornered and terrified victim. That single moment, that physical trapping, was the spark that lit the fuse. In a surge of pure primal fear, Robert grabbed the nearest object, a wrench, and struck out, a desperate act of self-preservation before fleeing into the night. Tonight's episode picked up in the devastating aftermath, with the ever-loyal Vic caught in an impossible position. Her heart breaking, she desperately tried to glue the shattered pieces of her family back together. Begging a frantic Robert not to go on the run, she then faced the daunting task of pleading with John in his hospital bed. Her request was simple: don't ruin Robert's life, don't go to the police. Both Aaron and John met her plea with irritation, a reaction that spoke volumes. John, playing the victim with sickening perfection, called the attack totally unprovoked, a lie so blatant it was breathtaking. Meanwhile, Robert, stripped of his pride and dignity, was understandably reluctant to beg for his freedom from the very man who had pushed him to the edge. Ultimately, for Vic's sake, he did it. In a scene thick with humiliation, Robert apologized to his tormentor. His explanation was raw and honest, cutting to the very heart of his pain. "I felt threatened," he admitted, his voice heavy with the weight of it all. "I felt like you'd taken my place, living my life with Vic, with Aaron." It was a confession of insecurity and fear, the very vulnerabilities John had so expertly exploited. Was John moved? Of course not. A flicker of triumph, perhaps, but no empathy. Still, he agreed not to involve the police, but his mercy came with a heavy price. Robert had to drop all his accusations and most painfully stay away from Aaron. It was checkmate. John had not only isolated Robert from the village, but was now severing his closest bonds, ensuring Robert was truly alone. But the most bone-chilling moment was yet to come. After being discharged from the hospital, a seemingly magnanimous John walked to his car. The truce was a sham. He calmly retrieved a memory card and the dashcam footage it contained of the entire violent confrontation. As he looked at the evidence in his hand, a slow, deeply unsettling smile spread across his face. It wasn't a smile of relief or justice. It was the smile of a predator who holds the ultimate leverage, a trump card that he can play at any moment to utterly destroy his rival. He has Robert exactly where he wants him, silenced, discredited, and living under the constant threat of exposure. John isn't just plotting against Robert anymore, he owns him. The question that now hangs heavy in the air is not if he will use this leverage, but how and when. What is his endgame? And how on earth can Robert ever fight back against a villain who has everyone, and now everything on his side? This is more than just a soap opera storyline. It's a terrifying descent into darkness, and we are absolutely gripped.